All right, here's an example of using ClosingLock to do e-signing. First, we're going to add a file, select our branch, put in our address. We don't have a balance due. That would pertain to wire instructions or incoming money. Since this is just doing the e-signing part, we're not going to leave that blank. Closing date is today, and any notes that are optional. So ClosingLock, you can do multiple things. So I just entered in a client information as the seller. And so I have one seller here. I can add another seller if I want. I can add a buyer. I can add an agent. I can add multiple clients within this page and only send specific things to each one. So that's just getting their information into our file. Here we have the option of sending wire information. You can kind of hover over that and see exactly what it needs. If I need to send my wiring instructions to my seller or my buyer or my agent or my lender, I can do it with this. You can see that it gives the drop down for each client, and the option for the wiring instruction is set per branch. So if you select the correct branch, then it will select the correct wire instructions. Then we can also request wire information. This is a good one for our sellers. We can just choose seller and get that information, such as, for our proceeds instead of at closing. And then we can request and identify information. You can do that for your sellers, for your buyers, most likely for your buyers, or a loan, or anything that's a little fishy that we can just send a identity verification to. Then we have our documents part. We can drag or upload documents here, and let's see. We have like a warranty deed that we can use. Let's try that one. And then once we get that uploaded, it says recipients here. We're going to select my seller and then also request signatures. So I'm going to select the seller again. Now I'm going to click on this click here to review and edit part. And this is exactly the same as DocuSign. I think they're integrated somehow with DocuSign. So it's going to be the same thing that we're familiar with dragging and dropping boxes of where to sign, or initial dates, text box, whatever you want to put in here. So here's our warranty deed. Obviously this is a notary page, but let's just say that it's, our escrow docs, or it's a lender doc, something that doesn't need a notary. We can just drag that signature box and put it on the signature line where we're going to need that signed. We can also do that with initials. We can do it with date signed. We can do it with name. Down here we have text box. I could type in something, like, for instance, like right here, I could just come in here and put cash. We can make it a required field. We can read it a read-only field. We can change the formatting exactly like DocuSign with all the options. We have check boxes. approval checks, anything like that, we can get rid of these ones that we don't need. And that would be it. So once you're all done with this, we're going to hit continue. And it's going to say document setup completed. And we're good to just exit out of this tab. And it will take us back to this page. Now we have that ready to go. We don't need any more notifications. And we're good to submit this. There's a box right here that says send notification to clients. If this is not selected, it won't send anything to the seller in this case. So we need to make sure that is selected. For example, if I was just opening a file in ClosingLock and I didn't have a document, I wasn't sending wiring instructions, I wasn't sending anything to them, I would unselect that box. In this case, I am sending documents to them, so I do want to send that notification. If I was sending a document later on, I would just want to go in, open this file, and get it saved into the ClosingLock system, and then go back and find that document later of when I want to send them an ID verification or something like that. So I'm going to hit submit. It's going to give us a little review window saying all our information. We're getting our document signed, and then I'm going to confirm that. So now that it's updated, we're going to scroll down and you can see the files that are now open. So here's the one I just did, and I can click on it. It's going to open a new page and we can see what we've done here. So we have all our information, our property address, our branch, everything like that, have our seller, our client information, and our documents that we needed. We did not do an ID verification on this one, but you definitely can if you wanted to do that. You can still do everything from the first page when you set up. You can still go back into this and do all that. So we can request wire verification. We can do ID. We can send wire instructions. We can add more clients. Whatever works. So now in my Outlook, I did just get a email saying from ClosingLock saying we were CC'd on that email that we sent out to that seller. So you're going to see exactly what they're seeing on that email. We can kind of make this look a little bit prettier. So we have Northern Title, our property address, our file number, and then the tasks. So the tasks that we asked the seller to do was provide your wiring instructions and complete the documentation. So now we're going to go into this, and I would get this email as a seller. So I'm going to go into my Gmail and see this ClosingLock email here. And it's exactly the same thing as what we saw. We're going to go in and open my tasks. It's going to ask for that email address, and we are going to agree. And then it's going to give you a text message code. It's not going to ask for a password. So if I get that, send it to my phone. Okay, and it pulls up like a portal. And because I have multiple files in this, usually if you work with a seller or buyer for the first time, there's only going to be one file, because I've tested this out multiple times that I have more. So if you were like a builder, you could have multiple files. If you're just a person selling a home for the first time, this would be it. So I'm going to go into this file and look at my tasks. I can see that I need to send wire instructions and I need to sign this document. Kind of gives us more information, like our title company, a map with the address, our documents, and everything like that. So I'm going to go in and send my wiring instructions, and we can do this. We can link to our bank account if they want, or manually fill it out. We just put in our account number and our routing number. Let's see. I'm assuming that would look it up. What do we need? There we go. And then the account name. And the social security. Then it asks for our mailing address. And we could submit that. Let me see if I can do a test one. Okay, so it's successfully sent. This is a very secure way of giving wiring instructions. We're going to close that. Now our task is completed, and now we need to go do the documents. It's going to show us where we can sign. I already have my email or my signature uploaded, but you could do anything. You could draw it out on their phone. They could give a font that they like, and then it's going to show you step where you need to go into sign. So once I have that signed, I'm going to finish. It'll take me back to my little home screen of the portal, and then we're going to say we are confirmed on each one of those, all finished, and we're good to exit out of it. Meanwhile, in my email, I got an email saying from ClosingLock saying that the client has filled in their bank account information. We can go log in and see that. So we can go back to our file. I'm going to refresh it. Goodness. So got this email saying that the warranty deed was completed. So after every single thing that client completes a task, it's going to email us as an employee and notifying us that that's been completed. So coming in here, you can see that it's been fully executed, the status of that. And I can open it up and look at it. Looks like I signed right there, so that's great. It gives us the certificate of the signature, and that's right behind it. Then we can see we did not do the verification, and then here's the bank account verification that we've completed, and it gives us a report of what we put in here. It also gives us, it looks up and sees if that account is legit or not. Obviously, this is not legit, so it's going to give us a not insured. Next, we didn't do payments, and then payoff statement orders. This is coming, so I'm pretty excited about that one to see if they can help us retrieve payoffs. But here's everything else. The ID verification is also super easy. It's step by step, just like everything else. I would just go in as a seller and take a picture of my driver's license and give all my information of saying who I really am. So there's just an example. Once this is done, you can download those documents, pull them into Settler, and same thing with the wiring instructions. You can download those, and it's just a really good tool to get e-signing. The let's see, account verification, the identity verification, all those tools. There's also over here, you can go to all the files and see what files you have open. It does show all the files for all offices, so you can just do that. It's really easy to search, or we can filter by branch. The other option was the payoff verification. If you need to see if your payoff is a legit payoff, if you see a red flag, you want to come in here and make sure the routing, account number, and loan numbers are legit, then you can come do that tool. It's completely free. And then this one is conversations, but we don't have that enabled. So that would be ClosingLock in a box. So feel free to reach out for any questions.